Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time you are watching this. I'm filming this only a couple days after my last video. In that video I told you things have just been a little rough, so things are just still a little rough, but we're getting through it. And also in my last video I showed you guys my grocery haul so that I could meal prep some stuff for this week so that I could live my best life and make living the healthy life a little bit easier for myself. And I have since done said meal prep, and said meal prep is bomb. And so I just wanted to take you guys through today to show you my breakfast and dinner meal prep. And then also these two meals, breakfast and dinner, are very conducive to what I was originally going to talk about in this video, which I am still going to talk about, which is how to lose fat but not feel like you're losing your mind while doing it. Like how to lose fat but not be absolutely miserable in a calorie deficit, especially, you know, if it's something that you're doing for a while. Like it can get tough sometimes, and especially if you're approaching fat loss in the not so healthiest way, that can also make it very, very difficult. So I'm gonna show you guys my food, I'm gonna give you guys some tips, and it's gonna be a great day. Is it stupid or counterintuitive to reward myself for not buying coffee?
By going and buying a coffee?
I deserve it. I deserve it. It's been a rough week. I deserve it. So my coffee shop changed their mocha since the last time I've been there. I'm sad about this. They changed it to some like Nestle powdery packagedy syrupy something, but this does bring up two key tips that may be helpful if you are actively trying to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose fat and not lose your mind while doing so. Number one is caffeine. It is an appetite suppressant, and normally I wouldn't like recommend like, you know, take a bunch of appetite suppressants so you're not hungry so you can starve yourself. Like that's not what I'm saying. You guys know me. But even when you are in like a reasonable, healthy sized calorie deficit, you still can get a little bit hungry. It's still gonna be a wee bit uncomfortable. And so doing what you can to decrease that discomfort so that you feel fine and good so that you can maintain a good relationship with food is really helpful. A little bit of coffee in the morning may help with that. On the flip side of that, I don't recommend this. It's straight like black coffee with some whole fat cream in it like that, fine. Coffee full of sugar, it's gonna have the opposite effect. This is like having dessert for breakfast. It's my one vice.
I get a vice, okay?
Next thing I'm doing post coffee is making myself a big glass of water full of all of the fun things that are gonna add some flavor and also give me some benefits. But my main goal here, or at least my main tip for the purposes of this video, is hydration. If you are trying to be in a calorie deficit and you are not drinking enough water, you are making your life so much harder than it needs to be. First of all, if you're not adequately hydrated, you're going to have more cravings. Your body is just going to be driving you to consume anything so that you can get some amount of hydration from your food. And if you're in a calorie deficit and you have more cravings, that just makes things a lot more difficult. And then on top of that, water, H2O, is extremely necessary in the actual fat burning process in the body. Like, water molecules are used in the reactions that the body has to go through to break down and burn off body fat. And so if you're not adequately hydrated, your body's going to be a lot less efficient in that pathway. And so it's just gonna be harder for your body to burn fat. So you're gonna have to be more aggressive with your calorie deficit, or it's just gonna take longer, which is just like not fun.
Stay hydrated, my friends.
But this doesn't mean that you just need to be like chugging a gallon of plain water every single day. Like, I have talked about this many a time. Plain water, not my jam. Can't do it. If it's there, I won't drink it. It'll just sit there. So my tip for this tip, if you struggle with hydration, is to add in fun things into your water to add flavor. And I like to add things that also add some amount of benefit. Sometimes for me, that's just having a kombucha because hydration plus probiotics, or just having a ginormous mug of tea. And by mug of tea, I mean like 32-ounce mason jar full of tea.
I drink a lot of tea.
Or sometimes it's what I just did and just adding a bunch of fun things to my water to make it taste good and to give me some other benefits. Something that I personally like doing when I make my like just giant cocktail of stuff in a glass jar that I just made is thinking like, what can I add to this to further support my body beyond just hydration? So like I'm getting, again, like more benefits out of it, but specifically what my body needs in that moment. Because I say all the time, like, supplements should be used supplementarily. They should be used to support your body when and where your body needs support. So like, as I told you guys, been a little bit stressed lately, so I added in Symbiotica's Adrenal Super Tonic because it's full of amazing ingredients that help reduce stress, calm the nervous system, ashwagandha, holy basil, etc. And then I also added in their D3K2 CoQ10 because my skin has not been doing as great lately, and vitamin D has huge, amazing benefits for my skin. Like, I just noticed when I have more vitamin D, either in supplement form or if I can like actually get outside and get vitamin D, that's really helpful. But despite the weather report continuously telling me it's gonna be sunny, it's ended up being like very cloudy and sad outside lately, so I haven't been able to get the natural vitamin D, so I have been supplementing with Symbiotica's vitamin D. Big shout out to Symbiotica for sponsoring this video. I have been using their supplements for a very long time. I absolutely love them. Highly recommend. And this is just because of the quality and like intention and thought that they put into all of their supplements. Like, for example, when possible, they source ingredients that have been grown in biodynamic farms, which biodynamic farming is a process that is essentially just what farming used to be before we like destroyed our whole farming system. But it prioritizes an organic approach to farming. It prioritizes soil that is more nutrient dense, crop rotation, and it's essentially a process that makes the end product, or the plants that they are growing in this biodynamic farming way, more potent. So there's going to be a higher concentration of the beneficial polyphenols in the various plants when things are grown this way. But not only do they source their ingredients really well, they also put a lot of intention into the extraction of the various ingredients. So ingredients that need to be extracted at like a lower temperature or dual extraction or whatever it is, they're making sure to do all of the necessary steps to preserve as much of the various compounds that are in the different plants that are going to give you different benefits as possible. And then from there, they also put a lot of effort into the delivery method of the various vitamins and minerals, whatever it is that is in the supplement. So for example, with the vitamin D3K2 CoQ10, they use liposomal delivery. And what that is essentially you take the compound and you package it in a liposome. Not like package, like it's a thing that naturally occurs in your body. Phospholipid bilayer. Did anybody else's biology teacher do this? Phospholipid bilayer. Basically, the compounds are surrounded in a phospholipid bilayer, which protects them as they go through your system and helps them actually get absorbed better into your bloodstream, which is where they need to go to do the things that they do best. Symbiotica also does a great job of pairing ingredients that work synergistically, again, to enhance absorption, bioavailability, and just the usability of the various vitamins and minerals and things. So vitamin D3 by itself is fine to take, but you get more out of it. It works synergistically with K2. So that is why this is the best vitamin D on the planet. And if you want to check it out or check out any of the other supplements, which I highly recommend all of them, they're all just as amazing as this one, I'll leave a link down in the description box below, and you can use my code FIT20 to get yourself 20% off. So here's why this is important. A lot of people embark on fat loss journeys. A lot of people end up having to embark on numerous fat loss journeys because if they do happen to lose weight, they tend to regain it. So you end up stuck in this yo-yo cycle of losing the weight, regaining it, losing the weight, regaining it. Every time that happens, it gets harder and harder to lose weight. So like, not only does it suck to be stuck in the cycle, but like it gets harder and harder to get out of it the longer you're in it. And one of the big reasons people get stuck in this cycle, one of the big reasons people regain the weight is because the way they approach fat loss in the first place is extremely unsustainable. And a lot of us go into a fat loss phase not realizing that it shouldn't be that hard. Like, it is going to be hard, don't get me wrong. It does require some amount of discipline. You're probably going to be a little bit hungry sometimes. Like, you might notice a slight drop in performance in the gym, but you shouldn't be miserable. You shouldn't be leaving the gym feeling like you're dying. You shouldn't be feeling like you're giving up your whole social life and your whole life in general just to be able to lose a few pounds. Like, weight loss should not be that hard. Fitness as a whole should feel good no matter what your goals are. But there's just so many weight loss programs out there that are not written in a healthy, sustainable way. And so when you start doing program after program and they all make you feel like absolute trash, you come to expect that like that's how you should feel when you're trying to lose weight. But like, no. If it doesn't feel good, or at least not bad, it's not going to be sustainable, which means it's not going to give you sustainable results that are going to last a lifetime. So making sure that you're implementing tips like I'm going to give you in this video into your fat loss journey is super important, because the easier you can make this process on yourself, the better you can feel while you are doing this process, the more sustainable and long lasting the results are going to be. And then also something that happens to a lot of people that go through these yo-yo cycles of dieting or just try losing fat in general is when it feels bad, it ends up making you develop a bad relationship with food, with your body, with exercise, and that in itself is not a great place to be. Like when you end up on a fat loss program that puts you on like 1,300 calories and you can't eat like literally anything, and if you do eat a cupcake, heaven forbid, you gain all the weight back, like you're gonna start associating those kinds of foods with bad, whether that be like weight gain or guilt or whatever it is. But with a healthy, sustainable program, you should be able to eat a cupcake once in a while without regaining all the weight. You shouldn't have to fear foods. You shouldn't have to fear missing a workout. Basically, there are a lot of ways to make the process feel a lot better and be a lot more sustainable that aren't gonna have all of the negative consequences of ways of approaching fat loss that don't implement these things. And if you are interested in a comprehensive course that breaks down exactly step by step how to implement all of these things and gives you like a ton more tips to make this easier, my course, Fat Loss 101, is coming back. Early bird registration is the 29th and 30th of this month, so like very, very soon. And then regular registration opens May 1st. So with Fat Loss 101, you get comprehensive course material. So it's like this video, but times like a million as far as content and information and help and strategy go. And it breaks it down like step by step so that you're not questioning what you should do, when you should do it, etc. Like everything is very lined out. And then on top of that, it comes with group coaching. So you essentially get the same access to me that you would if you were to work with me one-on-one. There's a group forum for everyone who is in the course, and if you have any questions at all on your journey, you can post there and I will personally answer your questions and make sure that you know that what you are doing is right for your body and you can be confident on your journey. And then there's also monthly live workshops so that we can sit down and actually chat in case there's anything you want to discuss further. And then of course you have the support of everyone else in the group who's going through the exact same thing that you are. Basically, if you're looking for a program that is going to teach you exactly how to lose fat in a healthy, sustainable way so that it cannot be a torturous process, but instead one that is enjoyable, and have the support of a coach along the way, this is the course for you. You can get on a waitlist at fatloss101.com. If you sign up with early bird registration, you will save $250, so that's nice. But yeah, go check it out for more information. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But I am super, super excited to be bringing it back. I can't wait for a whole new group of you guys to join us and to actually kick off a holistic, health-focused journey that should not only help you lose weight and like get to your physique goals, but also help you feel more vibrant, more radiant, more aligned in your fitness journey and all of that good stuff. So fatloss101.com, link in the description box below. Alrighty, it is time for breakfast. So I'll just break down my breakfast prep for you. I'm making, in my head, they're like Southwestern breakfast bowls, but it's just Southwestern because there's black beans and cotija cheese and whatever this is, so you can call it whatever you want. But I just have some of the slow cooker chicken that I prepped in my last video, so that has like some taco seasoning and stuff on it, black beans and bacon, and this is probably 3 servings worth now. And then I hard-boiled some eggs, so those are ready to go. And then all I really have to do is chop some fresh kale, chop some red onion, grab some microgreens from a thing of microgreens, and oh, I also have sweet potatoes. I need to heat those up and then combine it, and we're ready to go. Easy peasy. Literally took me like 5 minutes to throw everything together, and this is a very complete and delicious meal, if I may say so myself. And before I dig in and eat my breakfast, that is another huge tip that I have for being in a calorie deficit, or honestly for any sort of fitness goals that you have that involve some amount of nutrition optimization, is meal prepping, or at the very least batch cooking. Like having ingredients on hand just makes everything so much easier than making something different every night and not having things ready and prepped. It saves so much time, it saves so much mental space, which I find to be one of the biggest things if I'm trying to hit specific nutrition goals, is it takes more space in your brain, right? So if you can plan ahead and batch cook and just be able to throw something like this together in 5 minutes, like that just makes your life so much easier. I just finished at the chiropractor for the day. As I said in my last video, exercise-wise, I've been taking things pretty chill and just kind of listening to my body and not pushing myself to do anything that isn't going to feel energizing and restorative and like nourishing physically. I do feel like I'm about to be able to like start doing actual exercise pretty soon, but for now we're chilling. Maybe I'll do some like yoga in my backyard later. And the chiropractor exercises are definitely very like nourishing for my body. They're mostly just like mobility kind of drills and stuff, nothing super intense. But that is a tip that I wanted to give you guys for this video, is on your fat loss journey, like it is so important, especially if you're in it for the long haul. Like if you have more than a couple pounds to lose, you're gonna be, you know, in this for a little while. Finding a way of exercising that is enjoyable, is nourishing, makes you feel good is so important. And like obviously I always talk about how important resistance training is for fat loss, and you should absolutely be resistance training if you're trying to lose fat and actually get leaner, not just trying to lose weight. But if you struggle with consistency with that, then making sure to bring a little bit more intention, a little bit more enjoyment into your exercise plan for the week can be immensely helpful in just kind of maintaining that good relationship with exercise and with movement and with your body as a whole. So like if you really like yoga, if you really like long walks, if you really like doing pole dancing classes, like whatever it may be, keep those in your routine. I would still recommend, you know, finding a good balance with what is going to be more optimal for your goals. So again, leaning heavier on the resistance training, but that doesn't mean you have to cut out everything else. Cleo's outside time, where is she? On the table. Got cut short this morning, so I'm bringing her back outside, and I figured while I'm here, I'm gonna do some yoga. I'm feeling good. I feel like some amount of flowy, stretchy movement is gonna be helpful. So I'm just gonna do like a quick little 20-minute yoga sesh and then just walk until the sun sets, which I think is like an hour from now, so that'll be good. But before I do that, just a few more just quick fire tips for things that are gonna make your life a little bit easier if you're actively trying to lose fat. Number one, reverse diet first. If you have a slow metabolism, if you have been trying to diet over and over for years, if you feel like you have to eat next to nothing in order to just maintain your weight, you probably need to be reverse dieting, not dieting. I have a lot of content on this. I even have a free little masterclass on the metabolism and reverse dieting, so I'll link that down in the description box below if that sounds like you. But I can't tell you the number of clients that I've had come to me that have been trying to lose fat forever and they really needed to reverse diet before their bodies would let them lose fat. Number two, plan ahead. Again, this kind of just goes back to the mental load of trying to eat in a calorie deficit, and just when it comes to trying to hit your macros specifically, like if you get halfway through your day and you haven't really planned what's going on with your food, it's gonna be a lot harder to hit your macros than if you have some semblance of a plan for the day or for the week. And then kind of along those lines, but number three, learn how to track while eating out. It's always gonna be a lot easier to be more precise with your calories and your macros if you are cooking from home, but you don't wanna put your whole life on hold, your social life on hold in order to reach your goals. I see a lot of people that will go out to eat and then they just won't know exactly what it is and exactly how to track it, and so they just don't. And so they
don't account for anything that they've eaten because they don't know how to even really start, or their perfectionist tendencies are getting in the way, and so they're like, I don't know, I can't be precise, so I'm just not gonna do it at all. Don't do that. Just take the time to learn how to track food that you have not cooked. There's a bajillion articles about this on the internet. I'm pretty sure I talk about it in some of my videos. I definitely talk about it in Fat Loss 101. Next tip is use my macro averager tool. Man, I have an entire video about this. I'll link it down in the description box below, but essentially it allows you to average your macros throughout the week rather than aiming for precise macros and calories every single day. And this just gives you so much more flexibility, which just mentally makes trying to hit specific numbers so much easier because you don't have to hit the specific numbers every day. You just have to aim for an average. And then lastly for now, before I go do some yoga, is stop adding unnecessary rules. To lose fat, you really just have to be in a calorie deficit. You don't have to cut out carbs. You don't have to never eat pizza. You don't have to specifically follow a paleo diet. Like, you don't have to do a lot of things that a lot of people think they have to try to do that just make it harder. The only time I recommend adding extra guidelines is when they help you comply with the things that you have to do to reach your goals. So if cutting out all sugar actually mentally and physically makes it easier for you to hit your macros, then yeah, maybe that is gonna be easier. But if cutting out sugar makes you feel super restricted and makes you want to binge on everything, and makes it really hard for you to hit your macros, then like, don't do that. Have a little sugar. There's just so many myths and misconceptions out there about fat loss and about what is necessary. And when it comes down to your body individually, like, you might need to add things. You might need to not do things. You might need to customize and tailor your plan to your body, your history, your goals, etc. And knowing when and how to do that can be super impactful on your journey.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out.
Look at this little fluff nugget. Look at her.
82 kilometers later.
Alrighty, long neighborhood walk accomplished. I am like vaguely sweaty and out of breath. I was power walking. But now it is time to crack open a kombucha and make my semi-prepped dinner. So I'll show you what I'm doing.
So I have the chicken that I prepped in my last video, and I have that mixed with some white rice that I cooked with bone broth for a little extra protein, and then some corn. So all I need to do is heat that up and then chop up some romaine and a radish, cut up a little bit of an avocado, and then toss it all in a bowl with some microgreens, cotija cheese, salsa, and some onions that I pickled on the first night that I made this for dinner. It's that easy, and in less than like 10 minutes I have this delicious, amazing taco bowl.
My next tip is have yourself a little treat. These are churro waffle bites from Takaya. They're gluten-free. They're insane. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be in a calorie deficit right now. If I were, honestly, would probably not recommend having this much dessert because that's gonna take the place of like nutrient-dense foods, which you're getting less of because you're eating less, and nutrients are very important. But still, my point still stands of give yourself a little treat. The moment you start saying, no, I can't have these foods, is the moment that you start to feel restricted, you start to feel resentful towards what you are doing, which means one part of you is going to be resenting another part of yourself. That leads to a bad relationship with food. It can lead to binge eating. It can basically lead to just undoing all of the progress towards your goals. So if instead of trying to restrict and never have these things, you intentionally make a point to incorporate them into your week or even into your day, you're going to feel so much less restricted. You're going to feel so much more empowered in your choices. You're gonna feel so much more like you have
power over your decisions rather than that food has power over you and you're fighting against it. So when I am actively trying to eat in a calorie deficit, I do still make sure to have a little bit of dessert like pretty much every night. I don't like force myself to. If I don't want it, I don't have it, but like I make sure that I have this space for it if I do have that craving at the end of the day, because y'all know me, I'm a chocoholic. If I don't end my day with like at least a couple bites of chocolate, something just feels off, and I like to still be able to give that to myself no matter what my goals are. So enough talk. I can smell the delicious cinnamonness and I really want to eat these, so I'm gonna go indulge in dessert. So I did in fact end up eating all of my dessert, which I only regret because that means that I don't have chocolate peanut butter cups to eat tomorrow. But I can always go to the grocery store. But now I have my ginormous mug of tea. Hydration. I am now getting ready for bed, which I guess brings me to a final tip that I wasn't really gonna include, but might as well since we're here now. Sleep. Get enough sleep. The less sleep you get, or the worse your sleep, the worse your insulin regulation, which just means your blood sugar is gonna spike more, it's gonna crash more, it's gonna be a lot harder to stick to your dietary goals. You're gonna be craving food a lot more. Your brain is gonna be needing more glucose, so that in itself is gonna be just driving you to eat all the sugary foods. It just makes things real hard if you're not getting enough sleep. So on that note, I'm gonna finish getting ready for bed and chill a wee bit and then go to sleep. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was helpful for you. And as I said before, if you like these tips, if you want more of them, if you want them in a more structured way so that you really know how to implement everything, definitely check out Fat Loss 101 at fatloss101.com. Also make sure you check out Symbiotica supplements. This was literally just a coincidence that I'm wearing this sweatshirt. This is just my go-to sweatshirt now because it is so comfy and it's like 10 sizes too big, and so I'm just like drowning in like a soft warm blanket. Anyway, if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your gym buddies. If you want to see more content all about health and fitness, you can check it out over here. To see future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!